What's up, everybody? Amish Country Mets fan here, and welcome on in to Talking Farm on the Farm. This is episode 3, where I break down not only our top prospects, but some unknown prospects, some maybe quote-unquote mid prospects, and you never know, they might come up and help us down the line or be a part of a trade piece. So, I'll start today I'm going to break down a little bit of the big guns. I'm not going to dive too much into it. First, we'll start with Ronny Mauricio. His numbers for the year at the moment: 321, 6 homers, 16 RBIs, 948 OPS. But, there's a but here. In his last 6 games, 231, 259 on-base percentage, and 269 slugging. Obviously, it's only 6 games. You don't want to freak out. Everybody slumps. But just something to keep an eye on if you're on the bring up Mauricio bandwagon. He is slowing down a little bit. So just something to watch for. And as always, I like to say, watch for his walk rate, man. The Mets are not going to call this kid up if he doesn't draw more walks. And he has not been walking a lot lately. So, again, just something to keep an eye on. The other big gun down in the minors right now, Mark Vientos. He is still hot. For the season, he's at 367, 449, 733 slash line, 1.182 OPS is third in the International League. He has a 193 WRC plus, which is also third. His K rate's sitting around 21%. In his last 6 games, he's at 364, 423, 818 slugging for a 1.24 OPS. So he's hot. I think this is the one, if anybody, I think the Mets should at least look at, just because our right-handed DH is a problem. It's been a problem since last season, and I don't know, we're not fixing it. So I feel like we need to at least give for as long as if the lineup starts to hit, then it's one thing. But if the lineup continues to struggle a bit, I feel like bringing up Vientos would be prudent. But that's, I guess, neither here nor there. That's not what we're really here for. We're just here to break down how some of these guys are doing. I want to touch on a couple guys that I've talked about already, but just want to do like a little quick update. Nathan Lavender, last outing went 3 scoreless with 7 Ks. I think this kid's going to come up at some point and help us out, man. I really do. I don't know about this year, but we'll see. 37 games, 60 in his career so far. 37 games, 64.2 innings. Only 12 earned runs, 98 Ks, and a 178 opponent batting average. Kid looks good, man. Mike Vasil. We talked about him, I think, in our first episode. It's a guy to watch for, man. I think we don't have many starting pitching prospects that look promising. He is one. He really is. His K rate, his K to walk rate is crazy. 27 Ks on the season and only 2 walks. Guy's got good control, which is something we lack. Last start, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He did allow 2 homers. But keep an eye on Mike Vasil, man. That's another one. And if you want the full breakdown, if you didn't catch it, I believe that's on the first episode of Talking Farm on the Farm. So that's that. Just a quick update on Jet Williams. I'm not going to break down numbers on him, but he didn't graduate. Someone on the top 100 prospect list graduated. So Jet Williams has been bumped to the top 100 prospects already. So, and keep an eye on him. He's gonna be good. He's still super young, but definitely keep track of what he's doing, and we will keep track of what he's doing on this show. So let's move on to some new guys. How about we start with my notes here? Let's start with Jacob Reimer. God, it is cold. Sorry. Jacob Reimer's 19 years old, right-handed hitter. He's playing down in St. Lucie. Comes into the season ranked as our number 17 prospect on the MLB list. His ETA is at 2026. He's our third baseman. He was a 4th-round pick in 2022. He was ranked as the 103rd overall prospect in that draft class. 6'2", 205 pounds. He has raw power, slightly open stance. He does a small toe tap to help with his timing. Very solid strike zone judgment and a very simplified approach at the plate. He was a shortstop in high school, but he had below average speed, so the Mets didn't see him as a shortstop, so they pretty much immediately moved him to third base. But yes, another third base prospect. We have a ton of those. So more than likely we will, if he continues to progress and the Mets see something in him and they'll deal him, obviously, he's probably going to have to move off of third base because, I don't know, I don't know about you guys, I believe in Beatty. I think he's our third baseman of the future. So Reimer's probably going to have to move off of third base at some point if he has a future on the Major League Mets. So I want to break his scouting grades. So we haven't talked about scouting grades yet. If you're familiar with scouting grades, anything 70 to 80 a grade is like elite level. 60 is above average and 50 is average, and obviously anything below 50 is below average. So obviously for players, you want to see those 50s, 60s and above. His scouting grades coming out of college or high school, 50 was his hit grade. His power grade 55, his arm 50, fielding 50, and overall was a 45. So a little bit below average overall, but that 55 power grade is something to watch for. He hasn't shown the power too much yet this year. Right now he's hitting 277, 429 OBP. His slugging's only 308, but his OPS is 737. So he shows a good eye at the plate, which we all know the Mets love a good eye at the plate. And yeah, he's got raw power, so look for his power numbers to improve and keep an eye on him. He's 19, he's still in St. Lucie. His ETA is not till 2026, so he's got some years to develop, but it's a guy to watch out for. It's a guy we're going to keep an eye on. Our next guy we're going to look at is not on any top prospect list. He's one of these obscure guys that's just hot at the moment, and he caught my eye. His name is Matt Rudick. He was, like I said, unranked, 13th round pick in the 2021 draft. He is an outfielder. He's a lefty. Currently hitting .321 with 2 homers, 11 RBIs, and a .999 OPS. In his last 7 games, he's at .385, .579, .385 slugging, .964 OPS. This kid has at the plate, he has a slightly open stance. He holds his hands high. Moderate leg kick. He's a good contact guy. Not a lot of power, but also, again, strong eye. Average speed, so he's not a big speed threat. The Mets don't have a lot of outfield prospects, so good ones. So I'm not saying this kid is gonna be. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he'll have 4th outfielder potential at some point. Maybe not. He might be one of those career minor leaguers, but he's hot at the moment. Somebody just to keep an eye on. He might produce something at some point or might not. He's in AA right now, so probably a couple years away anyways, but just somebody to keep track of. And then we have one more for today, a pitching prospect. He's a reliever. I know relievers aren't as sexy as the starting pitching prospects, but this kid, he was signed as an undrafted free agent in 2021. He's number 29 on the our MLB prospect list. 25 years old. His name is Grant Hartwig. He's in AA right now. He's a 6'5" righty. 35.5% K rate last year in the minors, and which led the minor leagues. He throws a low 80 slider with good vertical and horizontal break. His slider dives away from righties and it dives into lefties. He's got that back foot slider. His fastball sits 93 to 95. In 8 games this year, he's got 12 innings pitched, 214 opponent batting average, 1.33 whip, 1.50 ERA. That slider that I'm talking about, and going back to scouting grades, it's graded out as a 60. So that's pretty damn good. So if this kid can keep his command in check and throw that slider out of the pen, like that's somebody that can help us. And I've seen it listed of him being up as soon as this year. So he might be a guy we see at the end of the year, or maybe there's some injuries sooner. So keep an eye on Grant Hartwig for the pen. Like I said, he's not a sexy name. He was an undrafted free agent, but man, you gotta. Sometimes you get that diamond out of crap. So you never know, man. His numbers look sharp. I like what I hear about that slider, and so keep an eye on him. So that's this episode of Talking Farm on the Farm, episode 3. Sorry, a little cold. It's hard to talk and think when it's cold, but doing my best out here. Yeah, look out for episode 4 next week. I'm gonna drop these either Sunday or Monday, so it'll come out one of those 2 days. Check out my podcast if you're watching this now. The Amish Apple podcast. I just dropped episode 1. You can find it on all the major podcast networks. You can find it on my YouTube, just like this video. So keep an eye on those. Those I'll be doing once a week. If you are watching right now, thank you. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Amish Country Met. I appreciate all of you. Let's go Mets.